Hello everyone, my name is Abhishek and welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited about today's video because in this video, I will show you how to implement automated code reviews using CodeRabbit AI. So code review process is quite challenging. Person who is reviewing the changes has to test the changes locally, has to verify everything is working fine, has to check if the code is according to organizational standards, no critical vulnerable packages are used. And finally, after that, there is also a sense of fear. What if the code breaks for the exact same changes that you reviewed? What if the application breaks in production? CodeRabbit AI is going to help you with the same use case. So you can use CodeRabbit AI to review your application at various stages. Typically in this video, I will show you how you can use CodeRabbit AI at three different stages of your code review process. First thing, I will show you how to integrate CodeRabbit AI with Visual Studio Code and how to test your local committed or even uncommitted changes. Secondly, once the code review is submitted or once the changes are submitted through a pull request, CodeRabbit AI can also help you in summarizing the pull request. Imagine if there are 100 files that are changed and CodeRabbit can summarize that entire thing for you just in 2 minutes. And finally, I will also show you how you can use CodeRabbit AI to review the changes on your GitHub pull request. Not just the traditional review process, but you can actually interact with CodeRabbit AI bot, just like how you do it with your senior developer. So you can interact with it on the GitHub comment section. So it's going to be quite interesting video. I'm also going to use a very easy demo. So I'll be using a AI chatbot Codebase to show you how CodeRabbit works. Make sure you watch this video till the end. Before we get started, I should thank CodeRabbit for believing in our content and sponsoring today's video. Let's get started. As a first step, you need to create an account with CodeRabbit. It's pretty straightforward. Just use the link in the description or pin comment. You'll get to this landing page. Click on the login button. You have various options to choose from. Login with GitHub, GitLab, Azure DevOps, or even Bitbucket Cloud. Till date, CodeRabbit AI is the most installed AI app on GitHub as well as GitLab. It had a positive impact on 1 million repositories and 10 million pull requests. As I told you, our first step is to explore the most interesting feature of CodeRabbit AI, that is free AI code reviews in Visual Studio Code. But for this, we need an application. I will use one of my applications called Transport. Of course, you can use any of your applications or even on the project that you're working in your organization. So Transport is a light AI assistant chatbot. This is a public repository. You can just clone it and you can run this application using npm run dev. A local development server is started and this is how application looks. This is similar to Open Web UI, but just with a rich user interface. You can just provide your prompt. Let's say hi. You will see response from the LLM. You can choose between different large language models that you import, and you can clear the chat history. However, at this point of time, Transport is missing a lot of features. I will add one of the feature. I'll take a very simple feature. I will add the code for it, and I will show you how CodeRabbit AI can enhance my productivity at least 2 to 3 times in this entire process. So I'll take my Visual Studio Code. I already have it installed and I have cloned the application, opened the application in Visual Studio Code. basically the source code. To install CodeRabbit AI plugin, head to the extensions and search for CodeRabbit, because we are going to use this extension as part of our code review in Visual Studio Code. So I'll write some code change. I'll make some code change. Whether it is uncommitted or even committed, CodeRabbit AI can quickly perform the code review and tell me if the code is looking good or not. Perfect, I have installed the extension. Now I'm on my main branch, but on the feature branch. So if I just do git branch, so there is a feature branch called feature last question. So this is one thing that I'm working on. What exactly it does, this creates a sidebar, and in the sidebar, it shows the user what is their last question. This is basically for the context. While interacting with AI assistant, the response can be quite long. Instead of scrolling up, user can actually look at the sidebar and understand the context of their discussion. So for that, I will just make changes to this TypeScript application. I'll just go to the feature last question, right? Get checkout feature last branch. Cool. And I'll just stash pop my changes that I was working on. Git stash pop. Okay. So I made some changes to app.tsx file. Now I'll just commit these changes. In fact, if you head to CodeRabbit AI, it can also help you with uncommitted changes, committed changes. I have tested this, so I will just commit the changes, right? So I will run git add, okay, and I will add a commit message, git commit -am feat, that is for enhancement, update the sidebar changes. Perfect. Now that these changes are made, you will see a notification. You have just committed. This is the commit. Do you want CodeRabbit to start a review? So this is local change review that CodeRabbit AI can perform for you. At this point, you haven't created the pull request. At this point, you are not even interacting with other developers, but still CodeRabbit can actually help you. So you are shifting the code reviews to the left rather than pushing it to the GitHub repository, waiting for other people to review it for you. Using CodeRabbit, the code review is actually pushed to the left. So I'll just say yes. Okay, so CodeRabbit has started the review process, setting up, analyzing the changes, and it will also review the files. In the meanwhile, let me just show you what exactly this particular feature does. So I'll head back to my terminal. Okay, development server is still running. Let me go to the browser and refresh it. So you can see last question, no question asked yet. So typically I have already added the feature. Personally, I think everything is looking good, but let me wait for CodeRabbit to review the changes, because I feel this is working good. I have also tested it. I have seen this through the web browser. CodeRabbit AI says there is one error. Fix use memo dependency. Sidebar will never update the first render. And it says this is a potential issue. Okay. What does this mean? So CodeRabbit AI says, although you enter something, let's say you provide a prompt to GPT-4 Turbo, it responds back to you, but still the last question is not updated. And it is only updated if you switch between the models. So this is basically because there is error in the code. These things are caught once you submit the pull request, once other developer looks at your code changes. This takes a lot of time. There is a lot of waste in the energy. So code reviewer has to pull these changes. Code reviewer has to test it. Code reviewer also has to cover these corner cases. Otherwise, there is a chance that this will be pushed to production. Imagine how much time CodeRabbit AI is actually saving for us. Now I understand, okay, there is some issue with my latest change or a function that I recently added. So I can make the changes again as suggested by CodeRabbit AI. I can work on the use memo fix. It also points to the right place where the change needs to be done. Okay, perfect. I made a very simple change. And now I will ask CodeRabbit AI to review the latest changes. So I'll just ask it to review one more time. And this time, I hope everything looks good. Okay, this time there is a suggestion, but at least it's much better than the previous one. So CodeRabbit AI can enhance your productivity 2 to 3 times at least. Personally, I've worked in large scale open source projects. And when you deal with hundreds of file changes, it becomes very tedious for the code reviewer. So you should avoid such kind of issues. At least make the life of the code reviewer little better. Okay, now we'll go to the browser and I will try with a different prompt this time. Hello. And yeah, I can see the last question as hello. So this is how CodeRabbit AI can be used in the Visual Studio Code. Now we will try to see how it can be used in the GitHub repository. Of course, you need to add CodeRabbit AI bot to your GitHub. So you just need to add it as an application. Previously, we added it to Visual Studio Code. So how do you add it? It's very simple. You should use login with GitHub. So while you are creating the account, if you already use GitHub, it is perfectly fine. So I logged in with GitHub. I can just add the repository. So I can grant permissions to all repositories or selected repositories as well. I have been using it for some time now, and I'm perfectly fine adding it to all the repositories. So you will see CodeRabbit is now installed on the repositories that you have chosen. If you have already done it, by default, when you create a pull request, CodeRabbit will start working on it. Let's say you have installed CodeRabbit later, or you have configured CodeRabbit with your GitHub later, then you can recreate the pull request, or you just need to wait for CodeRabbit to identify the pull request. So, at this point, it is actually looking at all the changes, waiting for status to be reported. So review is currently in progress. And this will also summarize the pull request for us. So let's wait for CodeRabbit to report. Just after 2 minutes, we have the summary from CodeRabbit AI. Let's see what does it say. A left sidebar has been updated to the UI, displaying the last user message from the chat history. I did not provide any details. Like if you see, this entire thing is updated by CodeRabbit. I haven't even provided a detailed message in the comment or the commit message, but still CodeRabbit was able to understand everything. The main layout now uses a flex container to position the sidebar and chat area side by side. Perfect. I mean, you can see the level of summary that it provides, and it also tells you this particular file is changed. So this is how it provides a detailed summary of the pull request. Now this will help the peer reviewer. So at times, they go through the Jira tickets or they go through any trackers, but still this level of information is not provided, but they can look at the summary from CodeRabbit AI and understand how they can better review the pull request. Now coming to the final point, how you can interact with CodeRabbit AI and how you can actually work with it just like you work with your senior developer. So if we scroll down, we can see comments from CodeRabbit. So it says nitpick comments 1 and it says actionable comments posted 3, where we can see that there is a refactor suggestion. at one point of the code. There is also another refactor suggestion. And finally, there is a potential issue. I actually prefer looking at the file changes section because it's much more clear here. So if you look at the file changes, so this is one refactor suggestion from CodeRabbit. Let's see what does it say. It says optimize performance by avoiding array copying and reversing. It actually makes sense because the current implementation creates a new array and reverses it on every render. This is definitely inefficient. CodeRabbit identified this change. And you have two options, like this is the committable suggestion. So you can just go ahead, click on commit suggestion. This looks pretty much good to me. So I can, just add refactor, something like this. I would just say refactor, update the array logic, and I'll just commit this change because it looks pretty good to me. Now we are left with two other suggestions. So this is a potential issue. It says address security vulnerability and improve accessibility. Let's try to understand more about it. The use of dangerous set inner HTML poses an XSS security risk. Yeah, so we can see here the key improvement is to remove this particular thing. So again, you have an option to commit this, but this time, because this is a very important one, I would actually ask CodeRabbit to, go ahead and create an issue for this. So let's see if I ask it to create an issue by adding a single comment, would it understand the request that I've made? So just after a few seconds, you can see CodeRabbit has reacted with eyes emoji. What does that mean? That means it's working on creating an issue. So it will create a well-crafted issue. It would provide all the details just like how it updated the pull request summary. I'll show you once we take a look at the other refactoring suggestion. So the other refactoring suggestion is to ensure chat area adopts the responsive design. So typically, if you are using this on mobile device and if you're also using this, let's say on a desktop, so to make this sidebar responsive, this is a suggestion that is provided by CodeRabbit. So let's say I'm totally fine keeping the previous commit itself. So I can just resolve this conversation and CodeRabbit understands that, okay, I'm totally fine with the change that I have made. Now let's see by going back to the issues section. So I'll head to the issues tab. So I can see security and accessibility issues in the last question sidebar. So I can go ahead, merge that pull request, and then either me or one of the individuals part of the team can look at this security issue and work on the security item. Anyways, what's important here is to look at the description, how well it updated the description, how well it updated the security issue, and also it has provided the complete context. So CodeRabbit says, I came across this issue while I was reviewing pull request 4, and this is the particular review comment. It has also added my name, reported by Abhishek.Veeramalla, right? So it's great. Now let's go back to the pull request. And once I am comfortable with the changes and once I'm okay with the suggestions that are provided by CodeRabbit, and once I take the necessary action, either by resolving it, resolving the conversation, or by asking it to create an issue, then I can go ahead and merge the pull request. You will also see a green check from CodeRabbit, but understand this just says that review is completed from CodeRabbit. It doesn't mean CodeRabbit has approved your changes. It only means that CodeRabbit has completed review on this particular pull request. This is important when you add a new commit. Let's say you are still working on the pull request and you add a new commit, then instantly you will see, instead of the green check mark here, you will observe a yellow dot where CodeRabbit will again continue to work on the pull request. It's not a single time activity. Every time you update the pull request, CodeRabbit will again review the pull request for you. But I hope it is clear how to interact with CodeRabbit AI bot. So overall, what did we learn in today's lecture? So we learned how to enhance the efficiency of code review process at multiple levels using CodeRabbit AI. The best part, you can actually use CodeRabbit with a 14 days trial period. You don't have to provide your credit card. Let's say you want to try it within your organization, you can actually do it at this point. So you can take CodeRabbit Pro, you can try various subscriptions of CodeRabbit without even providing the credit card and use it for 14 days. Again, use the link in the description or pin comment and you will learn how to use CodeRabbit. I hope you found this video interesting. See you all in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.